Hello, this is Jcamera here, and today we're taking a look at LEGO Batman set 7785 Arkham Asylum, released in 2006 with 860 pieces, 7 minifigures, and originally cost $80 US. This is probably the set that I've wanted the most from the theme, so I'm very excited to finally talk about it today. So, here's the box, which is huge. Like, out of all the boxes of the sets I've gotten, this might be the biggest one. So, there's like a little bit of a bump when you feel it. And of course, it's got the Batman logo with the black and gold all around. It has the minifigures up there with some of the accessories, the barcodes down here, image of the set. And here's the back. So it shows the accessories, which I'll get to later. And we have the features of the sets, and we have the little comic book, which is, I think, the only time, or at least of the 2006 sets, that there were comics in the instruction manuals. So it has, like, the Riddler, who was horribly maimed by Batman, basically, being brought back to Arkham Asylum before releasing all the villains. Poison Ivy and Scarecrow attack the guards, Nightwing stops Ivy and Scarecrow, and then Batman with his glider stops the Riddler, and everyone's back in their cells. And for opening the box, there's none of those, like, punch holes like most other sets. Instead, you have to just open it like this. And then the set's components would be in here, which, aside from the original, like, 2001 Hogwarts Castle set, which I'm yet to review as of making this video, not many sets that I know of have that gimmick, because of the set being that big. So there's the box. And now let's take a look at the instructions, which there's two different books. The first one has, of course, the minifigures and the vehicles. It has the light tower, and then the main building. And then it has the advertisements, and then just an image of the set right here. Then we have this one, which looks like it's been out in the sun when compared to this one. I don't know why, but... Then we have the gates of Arkham Asylum, and we get the other buildings of Arkham Asylum. And then we have the pieces right here, and we have all these sets that came before it, all 5 of which I've reviewed, so go check them out. A bit weird that this one's not included, though. Oh yeah, and here's the comic paneling, and of course here's the set gimmicks and play features. And an advertisement to the UCS Batmobile, which, no, I am not going to be reviewing. So, I actually have a couple of spare pieces. I have this piece, and this piece, which actually has a sticker on it, and no, the sticker is not actually in this set. This is from, I think, the Batmobile set, so I don't know why I got this. I got this set used, by the way, which was in surprisingly good condition, and actually had everything barring, like, one of the stickers, but that's about it. So I shall begin with the minifigures. So first up is the classic black suit Batman with the gold, as seen in the Tim Burton Batman films. This one's not exclusive. It appeared in the Batmobile set and the Batcave set, and both of whom I've reviewed. He has no second face, the same head as every Batman back then. He has no back printing. I've already talked about this figure before, so you can go see my other videos on it. But long story short, I really like this figure. It's my second favorite Batman minifigure ever made. Here's the one minifigure that everybody tries to look for, and the main reason people would get this set back in the day is for Nightwing. And this is a really cool figure. I really like the blue color scheme, and I'm glad that they, instead of doing back printing, they put him on the arms as a, like, to make up for it. Like a consolation prize. And he has a very unique hairpiece that was used in Exoforce. Even though it looked rubbery to me, and a lot of the reviews on this set say it is, it's not actually as rubbery as everyone makes it seem. Which is a little surprising. Even though it definitely feels a hint rubbery. But it's not exactly soft. And of course he has no second face. I'll admit when I first saw the figure I didn't like the hair. But it has grown on me. And it definitely looks like Nightwing. And it does look cool. So here is one of 2 security guards for Arkham Asylum. I'm proud of the set giving us 2 instead of 1. Both of them have the same torso, legs, and hat and everything. The faces are the only different thing. If I can get rid of the hat. Here's the figure. This is actually similar to a security guard in one of the older Spider-Man sets with the Doc Ock bank heist. The only difference is the hat is blue instead of black. And the head has glasses, and yeah. That's all I really have to say about the figure. And this hat, I think, is pretty useful for, like, baseball characters, in my opinion, anyway. And here's the other security guard, which, aside from the head, is exactly the same as before. Sorry for the horrible camera, but I had to get the hat on. This head is exactly the same as Bruce Wayne's head, though. I'd like to think that he was disguising himself as a policeman or something. Which, I don't know if he... he has kind of done that before, actually. So I'll give them points for that. It is a very generic face, though. There's no glasses, but I'm glad that the head's pretty different. Unlike the goons in the same theme that are exactly the same. And here is Poison Ivy, the first of 3 villains in the set. I should also mention that besides Batman, this is the first appearance of all of these figures and characters. The guards are exclusive for the most part, even though the pieces can be made from other sets. Poison Ivy is exclusive to this set, and the other 2 villains appear in one other set. So here's Poison Ivy, and even though I do feel like the 2012 one and the 2017 one are good figures, I still hold respect for this one. No head printing or back printing. In fact, no figure in this set has head printing, before I repeat myself, or even back printing for that matter. I do like this figure. I like that they have different shades of green for like the hips and legs. I'm glad that they did that. And I like the green lips too. And like the detail on the face. If you can just see there. This camera really hates focusing. And you can like see every single leaf on there, which is impressive. It looks really good. A great comic book accurate Poison Ivy. Here is the Scarecrow, who also appears in the Biplane set, which, yes, I actually have reviewed, even though I was wanting to do that one after this one, but anyway, here's the Scarecrow, which is a really good design of the Harry Potter hat. I've already talked about him in the other video before, but I'll talk about him now. This is a great Scarecrow. Aside from the head, it is a pretty basic Scarecrow, but it is still pretty good. The head is a very interesting plastic. It's because it's glow in the dark. It actually looks pretty scary. Like, if you take a look at the mouth, it's like leaning towards one side and like uneven. There's like lines around the eyes, and like if you put the hat on, if I can, like, it kind of looks like the mouth goes through up to the head, which makes it look like it's being held up and stitched together, like it could fall apart and die, which is really cool. And as I said, the head glows in the dark. I haven't put him out in the light as I've just built this set, but trust me, he does glow in the dark. And here's last and probably least out of the figures, the Riddler, who appears in the Bat Tank set, which is a set that I personally intend on reviewing next. The hair is pretty generic, but it does fit the Riddler, or at least the old Riddler, and it's still hair that I can see the Riddler using. I really like the head and the hair and like that together. He has the grey hands, which today it would be purple, but considering that low budget for the hands, I can see why. And to be fair, with black hands, he would look horrible, in my opinion. With that aside, I think it's a pretty boring and bare bones minifigure for the Riddler. Like, he only has one question mark, and he's the one minifigure that should have back printing. You should, come on, have more than this. Like, have at least one in the back and like have several there and several here and do arm printing and leg printing. Come on. Oh, come on. And if they wanted one question mark on him on the torso, it should have been the animated series. This design is also obviously inspired by his first appearance in like the older comics, like Golden Age, Silver Age, which I think may have been a mistake. I limit the minifigures nostalgic for me, as he was like one of the main villains of the video game in 2008, but subjectively, like analytically, to me, it's probably the worst of the villain minifigures in the theme, in my opinion. Now, there's a lot of accessories to get over with in this set. Beginning off, we have the three standard batarangs that are still used in today's Batman sets and are held by the figures. And there's usually 3 of them in most sets. We have 2 of these spinning batarangs that are supposed to go on to these Tommy guns. They can also go on the smaller handguns too. In fact, you can fit a few of them on there. They're sadly retired pieces, though. Here's the Tommy gun. I'd probably say the Scarecrow or the Riddler would use this, even though it's a little out of character for them, especially Riddler. And here's the handgun, which I can definitely see Scarecrow using. I guess the Riddler. I mean, it's more likely for him to use this than the Tommy gun, anyway. And here's a handcuff. If there's one set that I would say should have more than one, it would be this one, as there's 3 villains in it. And it's the only time in the theme that there's more than 2. It really does expect you to have the other sets so you can like have more handcuffs to arrest them. Luckily, it's my 7th set in the theme so far. And here are the accessories that are exclusive to the sets, or at least for the theme. We have Nightwing's Boton sticks, which are basically the blue lightsaber Jedi pieces in Star Wars. And if you look at them, there's bubbles in them, which does tell you that they're pretty old. And here's the Scarecrow's scythe, which I'll admit the one in the back copter's the better one, but I'll admit I do have a soft spot for this one. Maybe it's because it's one that you can like make at home, but I don't know, it looks cool to me anyway. It's also easier to have with the pieces. And here are 3 of the special guns, the quivers in brown. They're for the police, and before anyone wonders, no, you cannot put the batarangs on them. These are very interesting old-timey guns that I don't know why these guns out of all of them were used in this theme. Like, I would have used pistols, but it does look cool to be fair. So now let's get into this pretty tall set. So I'll begin with Nightwing's bike. There's 2 holes in there where you can fit in these sticks. In fact, here's what it looks like with them. If I can put... Sorry, it's just hard to do with one hand, but here it is. And editor's note, I am missing a sticker on here, but it's a relatively minor sticker, to be fair. And just like the bikes, like Catwoman's bike in the same theme, it's the right size for a bike, and you're supposed to like put the hands of the figure on here and then ride it. And he does look cool on it. Next is the ambulance. So there's a few stickers on this one. There's the Arkham Asylum patient transport here, and on the other side here it says ambulance, which is supposed to be like when you flip it on the mirror on your car, it will read out ambulance. This top part here can be removed pretty easily. And you'll find a seat where you can put one of the guards. So just put this one on here. And he's supposed to be driving. Why can't I? Well, you get the idea. And then you put it back on and drive neatly. Now, here are some doors, which are a little bit difficult for me to open, but once you get... You know what, I'm gonna cheat. There. And out here is a bed for a patient, like if Batman beat them to a pulp. And there's actually... Like, if you don't have that in there, there's actually room for a few seats for, like, a few inmates if they're not that badly brutalized. So here's the bed that you can put a minifigure in, and this is, like, to lock them in, and this is supposed to be carried out by the guards. I'm not going to put a minifigure in there right now, though. If I can put this in here. There's like bars on there so they can't like hurt the officers while driving, which I really like. And you know what? Oh yeah, and here's windows that are open. You know, I'm gonna take the minifigure out because I cannot get him in here with just one hand. And the blue lights look really cool, and I like the dark grey and white contrasting. Because, yeah, it really shows how corrupt and dark and dirty Gotham really is. Up here is the Batglider, or jetpack, as I refer it to. This part does get stuck on. We have a bat sticker on here, which is a little corny, but makes sense. We have this giant bat wings, and you can, like, move them up and down. And you can even do it sideways, which you didn't know for a little bit, but as seen here, can be done. Just be careful with how you do it. And this is... And you can have Batman's cape on there, even if it's not the newer soft capes. And you have, like, 2 handles here for him to hold on to. And this is supposed to be based on, like, Batman Returns, when he has that giant glider. at one point in the film, or at least this build is. The set isn't based on any movie. And you can put him on here, and he does look cool. I'll admit it's not perfect. I mean, it is really big. I'd argue a bit too big, personally. And I don't like that Batman has to hold on to it. I really wish there was a neck attachment and you had to take off the cape. Like, it'd be a little irritating, but I would prefer it, personally. Oh yeah, and the colors, I mean, the gold and black, fine, but... I mean, this, fair enough, but, like, the others really stick out like a sore thumb to me. I mean, I like the idea, and it does look cool, and I like the idea of it being brick belt, but it's too big for me. And I do feel like the newer ones do it much better. Like, for one, in the newer Arkham Asylum does this much better, in my opinion. But to be fair, that would require a new mold. Which, considering that they've already done quite a few for this theme already, I'm not surprised that they cheaped out. Let's get to the most exciting part of the set, Arkham Asylum itself. So I'll start with the gate. This sticker is applied to 2 pieces, which is never done today, but it does look cool, actually. It's like gold. And I like these spikes. It really has that gothic nature of Gotham City, making it feel scary in there. Vehicles can easily fit in there. Nightwing's bike, obviously. Also, the ambulance and, like, Two-Face's truck, which is around the same size, can fit in here. I mean, it's the right width, but it does struggle a little bit getting onto it. Because it's, like, 4 studs that way. And there's plants here, which look cool, and these are, like, stony, which I like. And you have these, like, shots, and you have the security camera here. They can move this way and like this, which looks really cool. Next, we have the watchtower, which has this ladder here, 3 of these pieces here, and 1 of those, which is very common in the old Harry Potter sets. You have these holders where you can hold 1 of the guns. You can fit 2 on each side. The set only encourages you to put 1 in there, though, but personally I choose not to put any of them on there. And you have this light that's like searching down for people escaping. And you can, depending on the angle, you can move this anyway. You can move it here, and like if you're moving it up, if it's like an aerial attack or something, yeah, like here. And I actually haven't tested this out with any of the guards, but yeah, if you put it like right on the edge, it does nothing. And yeah, not really anything either when you like have him here. I wouldn't recommend him putting him anywhere else on this though. And this is a clear piece, which looks really cool actually. And now we get into the 3 big buildings. I'll begin with the smallest one. So down here we have a lock that shows us the Riddler's cell. And up here we have the satellite that's like signals, alarms, and messages and such. We have a bat up here. We have the rack for the guns, which has a maximum of 4. The set only gives you 3, but anyway, you can fill out most of them. I do have a spare, personally, so I can fill out all of them. And there's like 3 of these bar pieces to put the Riddler in here, and a giant green question mark with all the little ones, which looks really cool. Makes me even more disappointed that the Riddler minifigure only had 1. And there's like 4 studs at the back there. You can like put the Riddler on them. like so. And you can handcuff him in there and lock this up. I mean, there's a little bit of a gap there, but to be fair, the minifigures aren't designed to go through such. Oh yeah, and this piece here is very rare. And these window pieces are pretty rare too. Not much to say about that one, so we'll move on to this tower, which is, yeah, aside from the glider on the main one, yeah, this is the tall building. There's that rare piece again. So here is a lock entering to a brand new cell. And that's Poison Ivy's cell. With glass instead of the bars, which makes sense for the character of Poison Ivy, as she's one of the very few with true abilities. And we have stickers on them, which look really cool and add a lot of needed color to the set. Poison Ivy really does add color to the set. I mean, debatably the Riddler too, but not as much as Ivy. We have, like, a fly trap here and another mini fly trap here, this time with the mouth open and looking a little bigger. And we have two little plants here, that's a few pieces. And can put Poison Ivy in there like so. And then lock this up. I should also mention that there's only two of those old lock pieces. Up here is a cell for the Scarecrow, and there's actually a gimmick. If you see this, like, I don't know what this is, it's pretty creepy. I don't know if it's like a dead body, whether it was killed by a Scarecrow or another inmate, or just so happened to be around the island of Arkham Asylum. Or maybe it's Scarface, for all we know. I mean, it obviously isn't, but you're supposed to push this, and if you see, the door flies open. Even though Scarecrow could very easily escape without that, but I guess he's too physically weak, because, I don't know, he's Mr. Burns or something. And in there, you'll see some hay and a barrel. And this scythe is supposed to go in here. And you can put the Scarecrow in here like so. And here's the door. You can very easily put that in like so. And this is one of the older, like, Harry Potter doors, in case you haven't noticed. Up here we have a brown Lego rat and a roof piece. This is actually the first time I've ever gotten that roof piece. And, yeah, it looks really cool. And these pieces here I've never gotten before either, so that's pretty cool. And finally, we have the main section. We have a couple of little lights here. And we have this door saying, if you can see, maximum security. With this retired brown door piece. And just like the doors on the ambulance, this one's relatively hard to open. You really need longer fingernails to do it, or to grow them out. Here it says maximum security, and you'll see there's bars up here. But not anymore, because there's a play feature right here that you can actually, like, put them there to, like, block prisoners from escaping, which is really cool. Down here, you have, like, a control panel. They can have one of the guards, like, spinning around on this chair. And even... Okay, now you can see. There's, like, a computer screen there, like in the ones in the Batcave set. There's a grey phone, also like in the Batcave set. And, like, a red button for, like, an alarm and, like, a switch. Like, maybe open up the cells or close them. And, yeah, it's really cool. The second layer... Sorry. Floor is the most interesting to me, as it's the cells for Joker, Two-Face, and Penguin, which I think is really cool that they referenced the older sets, Because, yeah, what's the point if you don't do that? I'm glad they didn't just, like, have them again. All for this little Easter egg. So you can, like, take the Joker and handcuff him and put him in this cell. Which, by the way, they all open up on their own. Thanks to me pulling up this. And if you take a look inside, there's like a table with a glass or a light. I think it's a glass, like, to drink out of, but I could be wrong. And you're supposed to, like, if I can put him in there. And you can kind of see the Joker there. I mean, it's the Joker, of course, he's gonna blend in. And you can also have, like, other villains, like Two-Face in here and the Penguin. So let me just handcuff them all. So you can kind of make out their shadows. And here they are, looking cute. It almost looks like a Western, actually. It looks like something from the Western films or something, like a Western jail or something. So the top layer is what's been referred to as a torch chamber, where we have a couple of vials there, and a skull, which is interesting, and a whip. Most likely to torture people. I've heard some people say it's Catwoman's whip. I personally doubt it, but okay. And here's this tray, which has an axe and a chainsaw for some reason. We have, like, this light to, I think, interrogate people, or just to do surgery on them, maybe. And then on the other side, you see this odd-looking thing? Well, it's meant to release a rope for the villains to escape, and you did kind of see it, a little bit of it before, but in case you didn't, here it is, and it's the same rope used for the Joker's ladder for the helicopter, and you can store that back in like so. Then up here, we have a pole here, which is where you can stick this back on. And there. And that looks pretty cool. So there you have it. Here's the original Arkham Asylum set. This is a really good set. In fact, it might be my favorite. I mean, it's not perfect, because I do think the Riddler minifigures should have been better. And what else? I do wish there was more cells. And yeah, that's really about it personally. I just wish there was more cells. Also, I don't know why Two-Face, Joker, and Penguin have generic cells, whilst the Riddler and Scarecrow get special cells. Like Poison Ivy, I get, and Penguin, I get, I guess, because he's not usually the insane type. In fact, I would have replaced him with maybe Catwoman. No, not Catwoman. Maybe Killer Croc or Mr. Freeze. They should have gotten special cells, but at least they're insane, so I would have taken it. But I guess that's a nitpick, because I personally really like this set. This is my favorite of the theme. There's definitely competition, but yeah, I got nothing else to say. In case anyone's wondering about my set collection so far for the Batman sets are going, I now have this one, this one, this one, this one, this one, this one, and this one. I'm skipping this one, as I've said in the Batcave review. So now I'm done with 2006. And here is the next wave, 2007, with only 2 sets. And I've already gotten the Batcopter. So that means my next set is going to be the Bat Tank set. So, hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I'll see you all next time.